Returning, Dr. Saab, to the topic of Ramzan, there are many in the West who, looking from the outside in, when commenting on this month of fasting, perhaps don't fully appreciate the spiritual endeavor that it involves, but more focus on the fact that it appears to be a month of extreme physical exertion and harshness on Muslims. Could you perhaps give some insight into the wisdom and rationale of fasting in this blessed month?
Yes, the people from the outside must certainly see it as something which is harsh, but that I think is a relative term, because we who actually experience it realize that it is not a harsh activity. And practically this is something that in our families we also see that this is something that is easily possible. The thing is that in the West especially, we have become accustomed to a very easy lifestyle in any case. And as far as food and drink are concerned, that is freely available 24 hours of the day, and people often take to it also on those times as well. However, fasting is only for a small number of hours during the day. The summer months here in England at the moment may be slightly longer, but that is not to say that we are going to starve if we don't eat or drink for that length of time. But at the same time, there is great benefit in putting yourself under some hardship. In the West, they also say, no pain, no gain. And this certainly is true for physical activities as well. If you are an athlete and you want to train yourself, then you have to put yourself under some physical pressure. And this is also the case with spirituality as well, that if you would like to gain spiritual beneficence from an activity, then you have to undergo some form of hardship as well. And this is a relative term for us, and we find that when we fast, because we are more aware of the spiritual benefits of fasting, then it becomes second nature to us to be able to go without food and drink for a small number of hours. But what they don't realize is that it is not the going without food or drink which is of importance. It is all that is related to it. And when they come to realize that yes, it does make you a better person to work with or to live with or to interact with, because that is what the fasting also teaches us, is that there is no foul language, you don't pick any quarrels, you don't pick any arguments, and this is the important aspects of it as well. So as a physical exercise, there is some hardship, but it is a relative term, and if there is that hardship, then it does medically also benefit you, because this is something that has been proven that it is of beneficence to you. So in that respect, I don't feel, I'm biased anyway, but those around me at work also, I mean, they have become accustomed to this, that they don't feel that it is such a hardship that I'm putting myself under.
Sahib has mentioned only a few hours. You say that there are only few hours of the fasting time. It's not only the few hours of the fasting time, but also the few days.
Right, yes.
Because the Holy Quran has also mentioned before, where the subject of Ramadan has been mentioned, and this thing has been mentioned, that this practice has been prescribed for you as it was prescribed for the people before you. That is one thing, that Islam is not the first religion to introduce this practice of fast. It was introduced in previous religions in some form or the other. Islam has made it more elaborate, more precise and more defined type of practice. But one thing Allah Almighty mentioned there is, in the very beginning it says, Ayyamam Madudat, that only few days are there. Don't be afraid. As generally people get afraid of it, that the month of Ramadan is coming, we will have to abstain from food and this and that. It will be too harsh. It's not like that. Allah Almighty gives them this consolation in the very beginning, Ayyamam Madudat. And secondly, if we look at those people upon whom it is made compulsory and obligatory, Islam has given all the possible relaxations. It's a long subject. To begin with, very small minor children, they are not supposed to observe the fast. I mean, it's, I think, cruelty on the part of some people who force their young children, even not giving them a glass of water to drink. And they say every small child, they must keep fast. This is not the spirit of Islam. Islam is one thing, it says, La ikraha fid din, no compulsion in matters of religion. Then the Holy Prophet ﷺ has said, Yassiru wala tussiru. Make the religion easy and not difficult for people. And ad-dinu yusrun, he has also mentioned the religion is all about the convenience of the people. So small children are exempt from there. Then the children should be given a taste of going through the experience of fast when they gradually come to the age of maturity. And that's generally, it is mentioned, no hard and fast limit is there, but around 13, 14 years they can just observe fast for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 days. Then from 15 to 18, that is the period in which they should gradually try to come in. But again, I must say that there is no hard and fast limit as such. It depends on the growth of the people, on the climate and situation. But gradually they have to. But once they are grown up, then of course Allah Almighty says they have to be regular, and they have to be regular in that. But still there are some exceptions. Some people who are sick, the people on journey, they are exempt. When these two conditions are there, they are allowed not to observe the fast at that time, but that compensation will be made when this condition is over. The ladies who are expecting, the ladies who are breastfeeding the children, of course they are exempt from there. Yeah.
So you mentioned about those who are on a journey. Often there is discussion as to what counts as a journey or what entails travelling. Could you perhaps give an insight into what the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat's perspective is on this?
Well, there is generally, people sometimes talk about the distance, and sometimes the period for which the person is out on a journey, how much distance is covered, how many days the person is out, 14, 15 days, they are mentioned there. But that is, of course, no doubt we believe in all these principles in a general way. But one thing which makes the whole thing clear, because today's time is very much different from the past, when people have to go on foot and there was no proper means of communication. Now better facilities are there, it's not that much difficult. So actually the real feeling of the journey, if that is there, that should be counted as a journey. The people, if they travel for long distance as a matter of routine, as a part of their duty every day, like the train drivers, the bus drivers, the pilots, for them, even if they travel long distance, it's not a journey, because it's a part of their duty. And other people, if they go out of their homes with little bit of preparation, and they say that, well, I'm going on a journey up to a certain place, that feeling, if they have, that should really be counted as the journey. Minor details, technical details are also there, but this is the crux of the matter, that when some people makes up his baggage, gets ready and goes out, make the preparation, leaves something behind for the people at home, and then he says, I'm going on a journey. That is a journey, and as long as he is on a journey, he would be naturally exempt from that one.
If I may add into this subject, that there are some people who are on journey every day because their work, the nature of their work is like that, like train drivers and so many other people, coach drivers. Now these people, during the month of fasting, they can fast because that is their regular activity, and there is no restriction on them that they should not fast. Similarly, you see, when a person leaves his home after fasting, and then if he returns back before the sunset, so before the time of the ending of the fast, he can fast. There is no restriction on him. So that means that during the fast he can make journey. It's not at all against the teaching of Islam. But if he is fasting now and then he will open the fast somewhere else, then it is not allowed, because then the Holy Quran says that if you are on journey, you should not fast. You see, the person who will not fast while he is on journey, for example, or he is sick, he will have two rewards. One is that he is obeying Allah's commandment when he is not fasting. But then later on, when he will be fasting, then he will have another reward from Allah the Almighty. So nobody should feel that if he is not fasting because of his journey, he is is missing something. The other thing is that those people who are living for more than 15 days somewhere, then they will not be considered as on journey, as they will be considered as they can fast, and they are like other people who are staying in their own homes. So